Michael's brother, for those of y'all that don't know me. Now, I guess I might start off by saying that I'm not real good with talking in front of people. In fact, I kind of dread it. So, my initial impression was that I understood that they weren't going to have anybody give speeches at the wedding, and then Michael here lobbied for me to speak because he thought it'd be pretty funny. So, I'm going to make sure he regrets that decision. So with Michael, there's really no shortage of embarrassing stories to talk about. The only problem is finding ones that are appropriate to tell everybody. So we'll do our best. The first one that I kind of thought about goes back to our childhood, and honestly, I kind of don't want to admit this, but I will to embarrass Michael a little bit. When we were younger, it was me and Michael and our brother David, and then our younger sister Christy, who was the youngest, so she was kind of spoiled a little bit. And we were really nice for her, so every now and then we would play Barbies with her, and she was real grateful for that. But we kind of thought it was odd. Me and David normally be Ken or one of the male Barbie dolls, but Michael always wanted to be the female Barbie dolls. But that didn't concern us as much as the fact that he always wanted to either marry me or David. So you can imagine that we were kind of relieved when he finally did marry a female, and a very lovely one at that. I guess the next thing I might mention about him from our childhood is, I know growing up, Michael was kind of late to hit his growth spurt, so he was what you might say vertically challenged. He was also a little bit horizontally challenged for that matter. He was kind of shorter and a little heavy set, so we always gave him a hard time for that. And so we were kind of mean to him. In fact, we actually had a little jingle for Michael that we used to sing, and I'll be glad to share that with y'all. It went something like this. Michael the Pooh, Michael the Pooh, chubby little kid all stuffed with fluffy, Michael the Pooh. So that was kind of, I felt a little bad about that, and that might also be the reason he wet the bed until he's about 13 or 14 years old. So I'm sorry, Michael. And I hope that's resolved now, Josie. If that's not, I apologize. I guess you'll find out. But I guess it kind of all culminates at one point. I remember we were sitting around the breakfast table, and it was me and Chris was there, and so was Michael, and he blurts out to my mom, "Mom, will I ever grow up?" But luckily he did, and so now he's even taller than us, so we can't really make fun of him anymore. Another thing I recall was, this was several years ago when Michael was probably like 12 or 13 years old. There's this one, I guess back in that time there's a phrase going around that was popular. It's kind of faded by now, but people would say, "That's bad." When they meant something was cool or neat, they'd say, "Oh, that's bad." So, and we had this on video. I wish I had it to show everybody, but we were actually having Christmas, and every time Michael opened a present, he'd say, "Oh, bad." He'd open up a Hot Wheel car, "Oh, bad." Open up some underwear, "Oh, bad." No matter what it was, same reaction. So I might say, Josie, when the unwrapping happens later, I hope he doesn't react by saying, "Oh, bad." But if he does, it's compliments. Don't worry, compliments. And I guess the next thing probably a lot of people are familiar with is the fact that Michael likes to buy and sell stuff. And he's always on Craigslist looking for the next best deal. And it's actually kind of a talent. He's told me stories about, he'll get on Craigslist, and on Craigslist people are just trying to get rid of all their junk. So he'll go buy someone's used junk from them for a low price and turn right around and sell it for twice as much. It's incredible. What's even more incredible is the fact that some of this he can't sell, so in fact probably half the furniture in Aunt and Rick's house is Michael's. Not that, it's kind of broken too. I think the recliner's a little broken. It also extends outside the house. I have a used pickup that Michael car that's broken. There's a used snow machine of Michael that's broken. I think there's also a dirt bike of Michael's that's broken. And I think the list goes on and on, but you get the point.
We don't hold it against him.
Alright, well that's good. That's good, because y'all might be the most happy when he finally moves out and takes all his stuff with him. And I guess besides that, Michael's also a man of many talents. If y'all don't know, he's actually very good at card tricks. He does like magic tricks with cards. In fact, that's how he proposed to Josie. And if you haven't heard that story, you should ask him about it. I think it kind of actually didn't go exactly as planned, so it's kind of funny. But on top of that, I don't know if y'all know of Michael's unique ability. It might fall under the category of stupid human tricks, but he can actually take a strand of spaghetti, put it in his mouth, and have it come out his nose. So one end is coming out his nose, and one out of his mouth, and he kind of floss with it. Oh, in fact, I have a piece of string here if you'd like to demonstrate. Maybe later. So I guess, you know, with all those unique talents, it's no wonder he won over such a beautiful bride. And Josie, you do look beautiful today, I have to say.
Thanks, Russell.
But, you know, she's got that going for her, but on the other side, she's not real intelligent. I mean, look who she ended up with. She definitely could have done a lot better, and definitely have a long time to find someone else, but she settled for Michael. In fact, to use one of Michael's terms, he out-punted his coverage. And that's kind of an understatement. He definitely married way out of his league. But also Josie is a little bit awkward. But she fits Michael perfectly because he's awkward too. So together they'll just live a nice awkward life together. So yeah, and also one thing I've learned in being here in Alaska is the girls here are kind of tough, and Josie's no exception. So Michael definitely better watch out. Make sure he treats her right, otherwise she'll definitely beat him up, and there's nothing he can do about it. But I guess besides all that, on more serious notes, I want to say to you, Michael, and this comes from the heart. You know our family's not real good about being, you know, emotional and corny, all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna be mushy for a little bit. I will say that, you know, you've been my brother, but it's really been a lot more than that. We've been, you know, best friends for 26 years, and so, you know, we've done a lot together, have a lot of memories together. We grew up, pretty much spent all of our time together. Got a lot of stories we could tell, a lot of memories. You know, we've laughed together, we've even cried together. We've, you know, just done everything. Went to college together, and you know, I really, you know, wouldn't trade anything. We've even fought a lot, but you know, really through the fighting, it just kind of brought us a lot closer. And I know it sounds corny, but you know, now that you married Josie, you know, she's gonna be your best friend. And you know, I think y'all are just perfect together. I think that Josie really fits you good. I think that there's no two better people for each other. And y'all really can't wait to see y'all grow old together, and can't wait to see y'all just live your lives out. And so, I mean, seriously, this is kind of bittersweet for me because, you know, on the one hand, I'm kind of losing my best friend in a sense, but at the same time, I'm also getting a very wonderful sister-in-law. And so, Michael, even though, you know, you have a new best friend now, I want you to know that, you know, we'll always be brothers and always be there for you. I guess I might say the best thing about it is now that when I come to Alaska, I have a place to stay. Oh, and I might say also, I couldn't share the story, but it's a little inappropriate, so before you leave, be sure to ask Michael about the time we came back home in the pickup from playing paintball. So I'll just leave it at that. Thanks, everybody.